The latest in the Boox Go series is here, and I for one I'm glad to be just getting back to doing some unboxings. This one has been a little while. So the Go series, we're starting to know them as Boox's incredibly thin and light options. The Go 6 is in many ways their successor to the Boox Poke, which I've never actually used a Boox Poke. But it's great at this point because I'm really getting into small and light e-readers. And this is the size of this regular Kindle, really. Cool. I mean, it is pretty tiny. And I'm thinking that this size, it certainly bears comparison to the phone size e-readers that I've been looking at. And I kind of say that these things are ultra pocketable because they can fit just in your front pocket like a phone. This, yeah, maybe you could slip it in a front pocket, but maybe it's more likely to be sort of back pocket. Yeah, I can confirm that fits in your back pocket and jacket pocket. It's probably a better size overall for fitting in a page from an ordinary novel. Of course, you're getting a cable and a TF card ejector tool and your legal stuff, warranty card, etc. It is a really nice surface. I can tell straight away it's a really nicely put together device, and it is very thin. It's a flush screen with the top there. It's a nicer overall device than the sort of equivalent, the basic Kindle. And they've sent it with its little folio case, which it magnetically snaps into now. And I am very happy that we can just have Android buttons on here. Don't have to bother with gestures. It doesn't have BSR, so it's got the old e-ink modes. Perfectly fine, of course, for something which is mainly going to be an e-reader. Let's get it online, and I'll get signed into things and I'll be back. So there we go, we're all logged in, and I've shown logging into a Boox device a good few times, so I don't need to go ahead and do that, but you generally need to log into your Google Play Store, and also I logged into Kindle, downloaded that, and also log into your Boox account. If you make a new Boox account, you get 10 gigabytes of free cloud storage, which is great. It's a very thin and light device. I do really like the design, the texture on the back here. It's got this familiar kind of stripe on the back, which is another indication of this Go series. I wonder whether this is the Go series complete now. I don't think so. I hope not. We're still missing probably a 7.8 inch. I think that's what people are thinking. A note-taking tablet in between this. A 7.8 inch tablet would be really welcome, probably in black and white. Really super thin and light. We hope for that as well. A 12-inch tablet would be good to see in the Go series as well. And also, we're hoping for a 13.3 at some point from Boox as well. But back to this one. They've managed to squeeze in a lot here. It's the Carter 1300 display, so it's the latest from e-ink. And you do get bi-color front lights, which is very pleasing to see in a device this size. Often when they save money, companies go ahead and they don't bother to put in the bi-color front lights, and they're very powerful or very weak, and you don't need them in well-lit conditions like this one today. I'm very much hoping to see good battery life, because that's been one of the disappointments about the Big Me so far, actually, in the last little while, is not terrible battery life, but it's inconsistent battery life. Like, I can't work out why. I left it the other day and it was almost like I watched it because I wasn't using it, and I just saw that it was just sitting on standby being a phone. I came back to it a few times in the evening and I saw that each time I come back it had lost like 10% its battery, and it was drained after a couple of hours just sitting there being a phone. So I don't know, maybe I'd left its hotspot on or something like that. But I'm finding that is something that you wouldn't expect, you wouldn't find from a Samsung phone or something like that. So I think Big Me need to look at their battery performance on this phone for the next generation. So hopefully we'll get excellent battery life from this. I normally see quite a drain initially when I'm setting up and downloading things. And I've also downloaded Audible, but there is no speaker on this that I can see. So there's no speaker on this size. You could, though, connect by Bluetooth to a Bluetooth set of headphones, or of course you can continue reading in your car on Audible. But I have downloaded short form. I'm just going to go ahead and pick something, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enjoy reading on this thing. That's the way I'm going to test it out. I'm going to sit and read some things on it. I like using short form just as a quick way to get an idea of a book you've been recommended, or to remind myself of some idea from a book I read a while ago. You can use the link in the description or shortform.com/kit to get a free trial and a 20% discount. Go on then, I'll start this. Why not? Thanks to Shortform for providing that discount and affiliate link. Now that's the beauty of getting a Boox reader rather than getting a Kindle or a Kobo. If you are already in the Kindle or Kobo ecosystem, then you can download and you can read on their app. But also you can choose an app like Shortform, or a lot of people love to use the app Readwise or Libby. So Readwise collects a lot of your notes from various different reading apps, and Libby allows you to borrow books from your local library. So you get those options here on the Boox Go 6. And one benefit of the Carta 1300 is not just the superior contrast, but also much faster response to the screen. And that, you can see that here. I'm going to carry this on in just a few moments once I've finished filming. And just to say that the actual Boox reader itself is really good, but you can only really read things that are copyright free, DRM free, that type of thing, or of course PDFs. And you can sync your reading notes between this and any other Boox device, although that's not a straightforward thing to do. You need to have the same file with the same name in the same location, and then you need to sync reading notes from that. So it's not the easiest thing to set up. They don't automatically sync everything in your library up with the cloud. You can see here I don't have anything in my library yet, but I can of course bring something by Bookstrop. And there's loads of different ways to do that. Or what I like doing is I can just download Google Drive on here, and then I can bring files directly down by Google Drive, which is just incredibly convenient if you use Google Drive. You can bring on any cloud storage that there is an Android app for, essentially. And it also, many of you would be pleased to know, it has a micro SD card slot. So if you do wish to carry around an absolutely massive library, then you can do that on here. I am interested just to see two more things. I'm going to install CPU-Z to see what the internals are like, and I'm also going to install Chrome just to see how it handles basic browsing, because of course you can go to web locations on it and you can download books in that way as well. One thing also that many people do notice when they get one of the smaller of the Boox devices is initially the system-wide font is a bit too small, so I might change that as well. That's a bit more comfortable. It is another Qualcomm tablet. It's 665. I think that is the same that's in the Tab Mini C. Certainly we've been seeing that in quite a few, so it's a perfectly capable chip there. 8 cores, 11 nanometer process, 300 dot per inch on there. Total RAM, essentially 2 gigabytes. Total storage, 32 gigabytes, but obviously only 20 of those are actually useful at this point because the rest is the operating system. It is Android 11, but it did say Android 12 on the box, so they did make a mistake with that. I don't think there was any malice in that. I think it's just because a lot of their devices have been upgraded to the Android 12, but this is still that slightly older chipset. As you can see, it's handling things just fine though. Why it's doing that. Always a good test of the different e-ink modes here. I mean, that is really quite incredible performance. When you consider where e-ink was just a few years ago, that is something special. I know it's not better than what we've seen on other Boox devices or a lot of other e-ink tablets now as well, but it still never ceases to amaze me how fast e-ink has become. And the normal is sort of what you'll use it in most of the time, and it goes into an X mode when you move, and then it renders when you stop moving. It's a really incredibly balanced ecosystem for e-ink. They know exactly what they're doing to get the best out of e-ink and enable you to have a really good experience of doing things like browse the internet and read web pages and not be limited to only reading what you can get on an individual company's bookstore. I think this is great. I do think one thing that I would like to see them do though is to think about some of these sort of settings that I automatically change. You see now I've done image smoothing there and it's made the gradients in there much cleaner. That is something that should just be on by default. They did do a very good job early on of actually automatically optimizing, sort of giving you some what they call cloud optimized apps. But I think they can go even further than that. I think that they can tweak those settings to be even better for people just using them straight out of the box. So people don't need to be where I am with a Boox tablet, which is quite intimately understanding how to use that e-ink sensor. So I think if they get that right, then I will stop being able to add this kind of caveat whenever I recommend a Boox device, that it has a steep learning curve. And I think that for people who are just looking to get an e-reader, they want it to work. And yeah, it's great to have the options, but you shouldn't have to use the options to get it to perform really well straight out of the box. That's my 2 cents anyway. That's what I would recommend you look at Boox. But another great addition to the Go lineup, they also have the Tab lineup, and the big difference now, we're looking at some really thin and light devices now in the Go lineup, but they are tending to be sort of black and white devices with no Boox Super Refresh technology. So these are the pure readers and note takers of the lineup. And wow, what a great combo that would be. A lovely little book there for reading your novels and things, a great sketchbook note-taking pad here with the Boox Go 10.3. And then they have their tab devices, which are essentially leaning towards being mini computers on full e-ink, which I love, but yeah, a good balance would be great. But what we know about e-ink tablets is it really matters far more what's right for the individual and their individual use case, rather than just thinking, what's the best out there? So you might look at this and think, no use for that at all, in which case, go for the Go lineup. Or you might think, yeah, I can get into that, just like a computer, but on e-ink, then the Tab lineup will be for you. It's starting to make sense now, Boox.